First thing you want to do is take out the long bolt, and you just pull it out, and the wheel pops out. And you come over to the wheel. You have this rubber seal here. You just pop that out with a flathead screwdriver. And this thing's real dirty, so since you got it out, clean it up. And you can see the bearing. Flip the wheel over, and you have another, when you flip the wheel, you have another rubber thing. Just get the screwdriver in there and carefully mess around with it until you get it out. Might take a while. There it comes. Then you pull this thing out here for the speedo. Make sure it goes back in the same way. Well, these things here line up. This bearing is so small that just packing grease in here will be sufficient enough to re-grease this entire bearing. And then you just flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. If you look further in here, there's a steel insert in there that keeps the bearings in place. And you just start packing the grease in there. You can use a gun or you can use your fingers. Just make sure you get a lot in there. Get a towel and wipe off the excess. Make sure it's clean, there isn't any dirt on it. Just snaps in, like that. Now I'll flip the wheel over. Do the same thing on the other side. A little mess in here, clean it up first. Pop this out. And do the same thing, clean it out again. Make sure your little cap is clean, put it back in. And this side, we just put this, got to clean it up, put this rubber seal back in. And you flip the wheel over. Careful not to scratch the disc. Then we put this thing in again like that. Make sure it's in like that. And then this seal goes on top, and that's it. Then you put the wheel back on. Now to get the wheel back on, it's going to be pretty tricky because you got to hold this thing on here. You have to get it in there like until it goes in, right? You have to move this thing. Actually, no, you have to line it up with that thing. Okay, so right there. And over here, there's a little notch thing up here that it lines up into. And then as you do that, you got to slide the bolt through here, and then into this, and come over here. You have this part that has to go in here, but doesn't want to stay, of course. And then finally, you get the bolt through here, and you can tighten the nut. It's not easy to do. Takes a while. First grab this. Get it in there. Pick up the wheel. Gotta turn this again to line it up with, oh yeah, and another thing that's the same time, this piece here you have to put in over here at the same time. Because it won't, you can't get it in once you slide the bolt in. You gotta pick up the wheel, line up this thing here. For some reason the brakes gave me an issue. They locked up the wheel, so I had to take them off, and it pushed the pistons back a little bit. Now you can see the wheel spins very nicely. So you might have to adjust your brakes afterwards.